Greetings, grasshoppers. Hey, this is your RJ. Welcome to the Bot Signal, a show where I talk obsessively about messenger bots because that's right, I'm obsessed and I need the world to know you first. So welcome to the show today. If you're watching me from any other page except for Black Belt Bots, look up. Look up in the post. There's a link to join me. It is the same broadcast, but if you join me, I can see your comments and I can see your questions, and I'll be able to answer them a lot easier. I will find you around the internet. I will find the place where you left some questions, but it's easier if you just join me right here. Swear you won't miss a thing. Lindsay Badger is here. Now this is going. Now the show is officially rolling. So welcome today. Today, we're going to talk about something that I cover with all of my clients, usually right in the beginning. We're talking about measuring engagement in your bot. And it's a little bit different than a lot of the other platforms out there because it's two-way communication. Before the land of the bots, and really live streams as well, we measure engagements by clicks, basically. You know, how many people engaged with this material? An engagement is a click. Well, turns out a click doesn't really necessarily mean invested attention. So when I talk about engagement, what I mean is invested attention, as opposed to, clicking around on something or seeing something for 3 seconds. That ain't engagement. Those numbers ain't gonna get you anywhere, especially with bots. So let's talk about that today. Hey, my friends are all here. The gang is all here. Kim Boltzmann is here. It says, Barb Ireland is here. It says Barb Ireland on the screen, and I see your picture, but it's got Aaron Strayer's picture there. So BeLive must be a little wonk today. And Lindsay's here as well. Fantastic, darlings. So let's kick this off, shall we? Now, if you've been watching my show a while, you know that I always start out with one thing. Why should we care? Why should we care about measuring engagement, right? If the numbers are all meaningless, then why bother? Well, here it is. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? It's like the oldest management maxim out there. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. If you can't manage something, then it's really tough to make it grow. If you don't know the items and the tools necessary to make something grow, if you can't measure how those things are doing, if you can't, like a little science experiment, what seeds are going to grow in what kind of soil, well, you experiment, you try it out, and you measure how much something grows with what the soil was and all of that kind of stuff. And it's fabulous. But we don't do much science in this show. So I'll just shorten it by saying this: if you don't measure your engagement, it's you're rolling blind. You're going in the dark, and it isn't much fun, because unless you get struck by the lightning of having Gary Vaynerchuk say your name from a stage and having a million people go, ooh, I gotta check that out. Unless you get that, you might not go anywhere for a while. It's going to be very frustrating. Bots are work. They are work. And so I want to get you into a place where you can measure your engagement really well and kind of be encouraged by the stuff that you're seeing. Showing Barb's picture on your end. Good. I have no explanation for the weird and wild workings of my favorite live streaming platform, BeLive.tv. Checks in the mail. Anyway, very good. So Stacey Spenceley, always here, and thank you, my friend. Gotta love a good click. Adam says, hey Adam, good to see you. Very good. Okay, so how are we measuring this engagement? Conversations first, people. In your bots, you are measuring how many conversations you have had this week. How many times have you started a relationship, furthered a relationship to another stage that you already kind of had brewing? How many conversations have you taken from inside the bot to outside the bot? Now, me, I don't have too many customers here in Omaha, Nebraska. I have them scattered all over the country. So I'm having my face-to-face meetings over video, but I count how many face-to-face meetings I'm getting because of what I'm doing in the bot, because of how I'm engaging people. And yeah, I mean, that's really the source of it. That's my greatest statistic. There are more statistics. Adam says, measure and management are key in having quality interactions. That's important. Let's just talk about that for a second, Adam. Quality interactions with people that you're going to remember later and that might remember you as well. It's that human to human contact stuff. It's that connection that I want to measure beyond anything else. Most people, when they're talking to you about bots, the first thing they will say is this: well, it's a 90% open rate and a 40% click-through rate. And those numbers, darlings, they're impressive. Hey, they drew me in. Hey, I will admit that. It was like, what? It does what? However, you know it's not going to stay there forever, right? You know that at some point those numbers are going to come down a bit because bots are going to be plentiful. They aren't right now. They're not that plentiful right now, honestly. A lot of people are still just figuring out what these things are. That's totally great. 5 years into the future, though, things are going to be very different on everybody's part. And so relying on that statistic to justify, a bot is difficult. It's difficult because those kinds of things change. I have a heck of a lot more power over how much outreach am I doing in a week on my bot. How much, person to person outreach. Hey, I've noticed you haven't purchased. Is there any? How much am I doing of that in my bot? How many times am I saying, hey, let's take this into a face-to-face conversation, shall we? How many times am I doing that? And how many one-on-one conversations am I having? That, my friend, is the single most important statistic. For me, it's also the one I have the most control over. Hey, I can put out a Facebook ad. I can put out all these different types of things. And I have, in my small business marketing life, I have put out thousands of posts, baby, on all different sorts of social media networks. And I've gotten all across the board different reactions to those posts. And that's all really great. But what I'm talking about when I say engagement is investment. When people are personally invested in what's the next thing coming from RJ, now I've won the game. Whether they become a client or not, I've still won the game. So how many conversations are you having this week? How many interactions are you having? How many times have you personally outreached to somebody in your bot? These are the most important group. That's the big group of statistics, right? Those statistics determine my bottom line better than anything else. But there are some other stats to look at within your bot. Adam, the bot-rific. Yeah, you know it. Let's see. So stats to look at. When you write a sequence, which is usually something like a 7-day mini course, an onboarding series for people who maybe just became clients, if you're writing a sort of educational piece where maybe you're delivering just a little bit every day, or maybe your group is having a great big challenge, or some kind of experience that you've cooked up for them and you're delivering in the bot. Do look at this. Look at not necessarily the statistics for, okay, how many people clicked on this, but look for the aggregate, look for the umbrella statistics, such as how many people started this versus how many people finished this. This particular, the sequence, however long it is. I have had 7-day, I have had 5-day. I have a client running an entire summer worth of fabulousness, the illustrious ones. Go look them up. You won't be sorry. And all of these different sequences kind of have different factors. But what I'm looking at as the bot builder, I'm going back and I'm seeing, okay, there is a normal kind of a drop off rate. You probably get like a 20%, maybe 30%, depending on how long your bot is. But what starts to be something steep that you need to worry about? If you see a steep drop off anywhere in the bot of interaction, it's time to start thinking about some alternatives. Now, ManyChat is the program that I use. ManyChat has an opportunity to do what we like to call in the business A/B testing, which is I've got 100 people and I'm sending them toward one link. And the software on the back side, nobody ever notices this on the front side. It's built to be seamless. The software will send 50 people this way and 50 people along this path. And then you get to look at the results of that test and see, okay, what are people responding to better? So you can do some A/B testing with your bot. If you're looking at some stats along your sequences and you're like, why does it seem like everybody drops after message number 5? You can start some A/B testing. Leave half of your people along the original path, create a different path for half of your people, and then just kind of look at those things and compare them. See, is asking the question this way a little bit more engaging? If you're familiar with web design and all of that kind of stuff, a lot of people do this with landing pages. Okay, if the button is pink, do more people click on it? Okay, if we say this word instead of this word, will more people click on it? There are people that spend their entire days thinking about these questions, and what they're using is that A/B testing. So I encourage you to give that a try if you're having drop-off problems. So do you pay $10 for each business page? Correcto. Until you get it to about 500 subscribers, and then they'll charge you $5 more. And so it scales up like that. So yeah, it takes a while to get to 500. So unless you've got thousands of people following you or whatever, but it does take a bit to get to 500. So that gives you some room then, Barb, to kind of experiment around and see, what's starting to work for you. Stacy says, and I know because I've seen these messages come across, Stacy. Stacy was the first bot that I built that was not my own bot. And if you're a mother and you have toddlers and you don't want to kill them, go check out Stacy's stuff because she's got a lot of good stuff for you, moms out there. Anyway, Stacy says, I've recently relaunched a course with a simple 3-day bot sequence, 50% open rate, 100% opt-in rate of those clicks, and then a 20% conversion rate. I'll take it. Absolutely. The toughest thing, and I know Stacy will agree with me, the toughest thing about being a person who creates course material for other people is that they have trouble consuming it. Universally, almost every business owner I know has a course that they paid for and haven't gone through all the materials yet. Really? I mean, almost every business owner I know. It's an epidemic. If you go to some of the course sites and stuff like that, they're all like, oh, online learning is the wave of the future. You know what it is, because we can reach so many more people than we could, 5-10 years ago. But here's the tough thing is that people buy those courses, then never make it all the way through. People buy your course and then they never experience the genius that you've put together. But if you deliver that content in a bot, and Stacy, what she does too, is the folks in her mastermind, she sends them reminders of when the meetings are. Just like if you type live, you get show reminders for this show. Try it. You'll like it. And she has the same thing for the cohort in her mastermind. It's all about people getting people, people want to take that class. They want to commit. They want to watch all those hours of video. They want to. But then life comes along, baby. Unless you've got a 3-day weekend immediately, and most of us do not, then it's really hard to get some of that course material across. But Stacy does it with her bot, and I'm a proud bot mama. There should be a bot mamas club. Anyway, very good. Kim said, "This is why I've thought about reconstructing a cup of content." I know. It's in the name. It's in the name. Absolutely. But Barb says, yeah, that ain't gonna happen that fast. It doesn't happen that fast to anybody. Very good. And Aaron has some kudos for Stacy there. Stacy's amazing, by the way. Anyway, fantastic, darlings. So start looking for drop-offs in those sequences. Gradual is normal. 20 to 30% of the people are going to drop out by the end of the sequence. That's okay, especially if it's a free one. If people have not invested money yet, that's, free stuff is just, people love it, but it comes and it goes a whole lot. So if you've got that steep drop off, either A/B testing, which we talked about a minute ago, or shorten that sequence. Shorten that bad boy. It's better to have a shorter sequence that gives more value and makes a deeper impression than it is to have a longer thing that people just kind of, start to ignore over a period of time. So unless you're like, if you're in a group, that's a different thing, because then if you're a leader of a Facebook group, you're constantly kind of cheerleading the thing and people are excited about it and you're writing good content, and that's great. But yeah, if you have the drop off, those are a couple of things that you can do to just start waking people up a little bit. Don't be afraid to try a shorter sequence. Don't be afraid to try a different call to action. All of mine lead to a phone call with me, which is great stuff. And that totally works for my business. Works like gangbusters. Just love it. But there have been times that I've tried different calls to action, and it's just like, just folks don't seem to buy into that. So don't be afraid to change length of sequence, calls to action. Don't be afraid to change any of it. When Stacy says, leave them wanting more instead of overwhelming. Oh, yeah. Okay, so somebody Stacy, Ryan Ridgely, woodworker, Barn Rat Studios. He is the best. Anyway, he said to me one time that somebody had said to him, so this is totally hearsay, treat your social media like a soap opera. Put little cliffhangers in there for people. It makes it exciting and interesting. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, leave people wanting more. Leave people wanting more, because that's the kind of relationship that you want to create. You come into the table. Stacy says, whenever I watch your videos, I always want to go write a bot broadcast. Hey, I think that's a lovely idea. That makes me so happy. Bot broadcasts are the best. And what Stacy's talking about there is a lot of folks, when they first get into bots, they want to write that big onboarding sequence or the mini course or whatever it is. And that's totally great stuff. But there is something in the middle there that keeps people engaged. What if somebody signs up for your bot and they have no interest in the course that you have, the mini course that you have in your bot? How are you going to engage someone like that? Maybe they're in the bot, but they're not really subscribed to anything or engaged in anything. That's a perfect place for a little broadcast. Here are examples of broadcasts that have totally worked in the past for me and other clients. A did you know broadcast. A little just, did you know that for me, it would be, did you know your bot could do this? Think about all the ways you could use that in your business and then write me back one way you're going to use this in your business. That kind of stuff. Helping people get moving with the stuff that they want. Because here is our lives. Ready? I'm totally soapboxing today. So if I seem a little taller, that'd be why. Anyway, our lives are filled with things that we want for sure, but a lot of things that we don't want and don't say no to for whatever reason. Reminding people of what they want, reminding people of where their commitment is at and where their heart is at and where they really want to change things in their lives or their business or whatever it is that you do for them. Reminding people of that is a gift for them. It is. And people love that because it keeps them on track. We don't necessarily all do that very well. Listen, I am a type B personality, subset RJ. If I see a shiny technical thing, I will be gone for 2 hours. You can call my name, but I might be gone for a couple hours. That's how I am. I've learned to adapt to that, but I also relate to people who get off track. I relate to that very, very easily. And so if you've got folks that are in your bot that have made a commitment to something and haven't followed through with it for whatever reason, just a little bit of an understanding outreach. Hey, I see you started that thing. Did you run into a roadblock? Can I help you? It's really simple customer service stuff, really. I don't think that for customer service, we need to be getting degrees and doing fancy, crazy stuff. Most of the customer service that we get nowadays ain't good anyway. That's totally a way to get your business to stand out too. Whatever you do, customer service is a great way to stand out from the other businesses that are just like you. Anyway, just as much customer service as you'd need to run a restaurant. Hey, I see you didn't finish your meal there. Is anything wrong with it? I mean, really, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Really simple outreach stuff that gets people thinking and gets their brain churning a little bit and maybe helps them get rid of some indecision. Boy, that stuff will come back to you. Promise you online right now in front of Zucky and everyone. Anyway, Franco is here. Now truly the party has started. Yesterday, his profile picture had him behind some bars, and it was just the cutest thing I've ever seen. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, so thinking about shortening those sequences, changing those calls to action. If you want to, inside your bot, there is a setting that you can use that says, hey, if you haven't seen somebody in a week, 2 weeks, if they haven't interacted within the bot, you can find all of those people and send all of them the same message if you wanted to send them a broadcast that will, offer them a little webinar, offer them a little time, some one-on-one time if you have it, offer them something. Keep people engaged. If you do that, people will feel cared about and seen. If people feel cared about and seen, that is all you need. It may turn into a sale. It may turn into somebody that just raves about you online constantly and drives other sales to you. It may be somebody you can collaborate with on, that rocket ship building projects that you're going to do for world domination later. It'll turn into a relationship. And business is based on solid relationships. It just is. Good business anyway. Very good. Checking for more comments. Okay. So good. What a great show. It's been a real fast 25 minutes. And you guys have questions. Ari Garber says he raises about me constantly. Hello, Ari Garber. Ari was like, yesterday, can you chat today? And I'm like, So I hope to chat soon though, because love you guy, can't help it. Team RJ, baby. Team Stacy, baby. Telling you. Yeah, the engagement in your bot is, don't get lost in all of the 95% and 27% and all of that kind of stuff. Look at it in an umbrella way, which is kind of a 30,000 foot view of everything. The deep dive right now isn't always necessarily worth your time, and I'll tell you why. Bots have been around technically for 2 years. It's been starting to kind of catch some speed for about the last year, but in a large part, a lot of bot builders, including me, are constantly experimenting to see what works. There is no, Facebook ad course. Things that have been around for years have courses that will say this tiny factor over here will affect this way down the line. We are all figuring that stuff out right now, and so go with your gut. Don't get hung up on the numbers, and remember, your conversations that you're having are much more important than anything else. Honestly, the other stuff, the stats and the stuff for sequences and stuff like that, it's normal to look at those every once in a while. Just like you might look at your Facebook or your website analytics or your Facebook video analytics every once in a while. Totally great stuff. Just there's a whole other thing that you need to watch for when measuring your engagement. And it's because it's just not one-way engagement anymore. It's, wow, you're here, you're a real human being, and I can have a conversation with you and I can ask questions and get some answers from somebody real. Measure that part of your engagement too, and you'll know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Okay. Our RJ Stan's card is full lately. He is a little full lately. I am so happy about that, by the way. It makes me really, really happy. So, my darlings, I would like to use the last few minutes to talk to you about something new that I found this morning. It was insane. For those, and I'm probably going to do a full topic on this in the future here. In the next couple of weeks, I'll do a topic of a show on this. But I found a piece of software. It is called Lumen 5. Let me just pop this in for you. Boop. Okay. So I found it this morning because of that Stephen Healy. He'll go off the trail at any point looking for software, and I will follow him right off that trail. We have that problem together. So this will take a blog post or any other written piece of something you have and turn it into a short video for you. So I'm always looking for ways that my clients might be able to do the things that I recommend quickly. And this Lumen 5, I made a video. I made a 41-second video with music during the time Stephen was live streaming today. It probably took me, I replaced some of the pictures that they had, but it was great. Like, I had something great looking in 15 minutes out of something that I had already written. It brought a tear to my eye. And it may bring a tear to yours. Do check it out if you're on the free program like me, because I can't justify spending $50 a month on just that right now. But if you're on the free program, all it does is put a little credits on the end that says made with Lumen 5. It's not that big of a deal. It's not, ever present in the bottom corner and ruining your branding. It's actually pretty good stuff. So do go check them out if you have the time. I have a lot of people ask me, making a video is so hard. I don't want to get in front of the camera. I am a natural camera born. I swear to you, I was born, the doc slapped me on the butt and I turned and mugged for the camera. I've been doing this all my life. So I don't have the same sort of trepidation about getting in front of camera. But if you have that kind of fear, If you really don't want to do that, there are really high quality ways around it that are free. Isn't that amazing? Isn't the internet amazing? Anyway, I will be talking to you on Thursday again because I work on Thursdays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. is the show. If you want to check out a bot, if you haven't checked out mine already, hold please. Some people do this ahead of time. All right, go right here. Go check out the bot. Spinning Dragon will bring you right in, introduce you to what I have going on, and ask you what you want to participate in. It's a choose your own adventure. It's a learn at your own pace. And I would absolutely love to have you in there. It's a great little bot, and that might help you see some of the things that I'm talking about. You know, I sort of describe things conceptually, but it's really good to get a big juicy bite of what's actually going on before you decide, is this for you or is this not for you? And if it's not for you, thanks for coming by, because I really appreciate when folks come by and see me on this show. I love doing these things. I love talking about bots. I love to talk about all the possibilities, because to me, this is that wide canvas of everything you've ever wanted marketing to be. And we've never had these opportunities before. So take advantage if you'd like. If you have any questions for me, I believe you know how to get a hold of me. And that's it for today, darlings. So I will see you in a bot.